back again. I feel a little bit more energetic. Yesterday, went for a walk. Of course, many of you that have been following, that I've been just my wife and I, we just traveled towards Lebanon a couple of days ago, and we wanted to go in, bringing some help and everything. And of course, things went kind of downhill when we arrived there. The funny part is this family. I gotta say, it's so interesting. Every time I cross an immigration, the fact that I am an Iranian always follows me, and it's always at the immigration, security in airport. They say, "Mr. Javid, you have been randomly selected to be checked again," and laugh at it. And I'm like, yeah, sure. If my name was John Smith, I wouldn't be randomly selected. If I had that random luck anywhere else, if I had lotto, I would have been a billionaire. And so, anyways, yeah, randomly, yeah, sure. So, anyways, we got to. So, I want to do this video, and I want to share with you a little bit more details of what happened when we got into Lebanon. And so we landed, everything went well, and I just approached the immigrations and everything. Didn't know if you need an arrival visa, because it says you need an arrival visa with a German passport and everything else. So we just went there. No, 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 no. You just get an entry. You don't need a visa. Ah, great. So we go to the immigration, and the guy says, "You were born in Iran." I said, "Yes." "So why are you here?" And I said, "Oh, we're here to just visit some friends and help." And it's like, "What? You were born in Iran, you want to help?" And so, no, 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 you guys go there. And so another guy comes and says, "What's happening?" I say, "Yeah, we just here." And so I'm in construction. My wife is just that. Okay, no, no, are you an NGO? I said, "No, we are not, no NGO. We just are doing whatever we can to just representing, a small group of people that love your people," kind of thing. I said, "So don't say NGO. Just wait. They'll just ask you some questions." But asking some questions took about, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 hours or something like that. You're sitting at immigration and they are writing emails and this and that. In the meantime, we're just praying. I didn't know what's happening, but we just kept on praying over the land, and we made conversations where we could and everything else. So, anyways, we're talking to these guys, and people are just a little bit. They're like, "What?" I said, "We brought some clothes, we brought some chocolate and everything. We want to just love on people." And so they were a little bit hesitant in many ways, because I'm Iranian and because of the connection of Iran and Hezbollah and everything. They're like, "What is happening? So, what, are these guys for real and everything?" So they talked to our friends that are in Lebanon, and they were waiting for us in the airport. So, anyways, and after many hours of waiting there, like, "Look, you guys are being deported. You're not being allowed in." Like, okay, if not, then our heart was to help the refugees. Anyways, we will go to Turkey and do this. And so they said, "Yes, we'll just arrange for your flight." And then they take us to a room, and the room was unbelievably dirty, and it was just like a bunch of torn up seats and everything else, and people had put pictures behind some plastic thing. I think all the people that had been just kind of deported and everything. And we are sitting there, and in another room, there is two gentlemen, one really long beard, and he's sitting, and he has this black shirt on and rings that are very customary to many Muslims, especially Shia Muslims. And so I'm like, okay, this guy is a hardcore Muslim. I can see that. And so we're sitting, and I'm like, okay, so when is the next flight? They're like, oh, there is no flight. I'm like, what? And it's like, yeah, you have to wait here till tomorrow. I'm like, oh, no. Right, so I'm like trying, and the guy doesn't speak any English. He's speaking Arabic, and I'm like, okay, I understand a little bit of Arabic because of my studies in Quran and everything else. And so we're trying to communicate and everything, and I'm trying to see another flight and everything. They're like, no, 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 everything is booked. Everybody is leaving Lebanon. You guys are here. And I'm like, this is the time you got to be here because we want to bring help. Everybody is leaving to protect themselves. We are here to bring good news. And that's the heart of the gospel, I think. You know, I think maybe and it was just I took a day or so just thinking about this, and I saw that in every single person's eyes, it was a strange that a bunch of Christians want to come. And of course, I mean, I gave them my name and everything else, and I'm not a person that hides, so they can see. And I think part of the fact is that you know, on my YouTube, they're like, oh, he used to serve in Hezbollah and everything else. You know, this is kind of strange for them, but they also know that I'm Christian. And I, even for after knowing that I'm a Christian, it was strange to them that we would be there. And I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And so, anyways, this morning, my wife and I, we were talking, and she asked me if you could ask Jesus a question, because there is a reel on the Instagram that says, hey, if you could ask Jesus anything, what would you ask? And the gentleman says, I would ask Jesus, how did I do? And my wife said, okay, what would you ask? I said, that question is too self-centered for me. I just didn't know if I could ask that question. Yeah, so because it's more about him than it's about me. So anyways, I was just praying, and I was like, okay, what has happened? You know, and of course, let me get back to that. And I just was like, okay, we got to find a way. And so we tried to get it's so interesting. There's so many last minute kind of miracles, I gotta say. So I didn't know. They connected me to internet in my phone, then it ran out. And then we found out that your phone can only have 1 hour of internet in Lebanon. They give it to you for free. And then after that, it cuts off. And then because I guess it knows your phone, it doesn't give you another, you cannot register with another name or email or anything else. You know, that's it, you know. So my wife got that just before her 1 hour ran out. I said, hey, we got to get one of those eSIM cards and everything. So our spiritual daughter, Shiva from Germany, found a place, sent a link, and she got it, tried to put it. And just as because to install an eSIM card, you needed internet, but the Wi-Fi was not strong enough. So anyways, it was just like literally moments before her 1 hour ran out, we got that eSIM card. And if we didn't have that, we were just completely done. And so they're telling us tomorrow maybe there will be a seat and everything. And I'm like, okay, we're sitting in a room. There is no bathroom here that I can see. There's nothing. We have been traveling all day, you know, since 3 a.m. we were on our way. And what's going on, you know? And so I said, hey, is there another flight to another place? And they're like, no, 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 you have to go back to Istanbul. I said, look, we have a foreign passport, we can go anywhere. They're like, no, 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 no. Just I'm like, no, you can ask. It's not like we have an issue. They didn't want us here because of a different reason. So they asked, yeah, like, oh, okay, yeah, you can go anywhere. But there is no other flight. Everything is booked. And I'm like, look, let me check. And now I check on the internet and Google flight, and I'm like, oh, there is a flight to Jeddah, and it's like, yeah, but you have to buy it. I'm like, I'll buy it, no problem. And so, but it's a last minute. It can be only bought from a counter or by a thing. It says the flight is like literally in about an hour and a half or something. And by that time, it's about 9 p.m. So the flight is 10 minutes to 11 flying out. And so we are running to the desk. The guy opened the door. We went to the counter of Middle East airline, and we said, okay, can we buy it? It's like, there is only 2 seats available. I'm like, okay, sure. Yeah, it's only first class. That's the 2 seats available. And I'm like, okay, I'll buy it. I want to get out of here. And I get it and everything. And I really didn't believe that there is, because on Google Flight, it doesn't say how many tickets are there, but I didn't really believe him. I got that, came back. They're like, okay, where's your tags for your bags and everything? I give them, they arrange everything. And so we come back here. And when I come back, a gentleman comes and from the other room and says, are you Persian? Are you Iranian and speaking Farsi? I'm like, wow, you're Iranian? He says, yes. And then we start talking. It says, yeah, Haji, which means someone that has been to Mecca, and pilgrimage. He says, he was saying, oh, he heard you guys are speaking Farsi. And so we approached them talking. And as I'm talking to them, I know these guys. I know these guys not because I know them personally, but I know them because I was part of them in Iran. And so, and when, as we're talking about all these things and everything else, maybe they are a few years older than me. So, anyways, but the guy has got beard up to here, and everything, and. So, anyways, as we're chatting, and he's like, "Well, you here?" I just shared with them um, why we were there and everything, and they're like, "What?" A little bit this strange for them. And I shared with them that we are Christian and this and that, and I gave them my name. And so, of course, when you give them your name as an Iranian with a Farsi name, because in Iran there are Assyrians, they have their own names, they have Armenians that are Christian, they have their own name, but when you have a name that is full Persian, they know that you are a Muslim convert and everything. And I said, yeah, I'm from the south of Iran, Abadan, this, that. The guy says, oh, I'm from Ahvaz. So we're just talking and we're just laughing and everything. And I'm just using every opportunity to share with them about the love of God and how. And he's like, oh yeah, your good deeds will be awarded by God. And I'm like, good deeds. I mean, God created us a certain way. We bear fruits that are good, not because we try to impress Him, but because we are connected. The branch is connected to a tree and it bears fruit because the fruit is the production of the DNA of that tree. I do not do these things to win rewards, and this is not something I do to impress my God or to cover my sin, but this I do because that is the nature in which He created us in. He created us in His own image, and the guy is like, wow. And I'm like, I have already received my rewards, and he's like, how? And I said, my reward is to love people, to be able to have this conversation with you, to meet you, to experience sharing a heart that loves one another. And the guy is completely off of his what he knows, the foundation that he knows, because in Islam it teaches you got to do good in order to to cover all the sins you have covered. And if you don't do, you are in trouble. You're going to be burning in hell forever. And I'm like, and he's like, you come in here in the time of war to help people. This will definitely win you reward in the sight of Allah or God or something. And I'm like, I don't want reward. I am here because he has already been good to me, and out of the goodness he has poured into me, it's pouring out. It's a complete different, and my reward is not that he will reward me to cover my sin. No, my sin is already washed away. It's already paid for. And so there's two different type of a mentality, and these are clashing, and obviously one is overwhelmingly more powerful, more sound, more healthy than the other. One is still self-centered. Even if I'm helping people, I'm not helping you to help you. I'm helping you to so that I can win rewards, so that I can cover myself. Uh, Yesterday, Eric, one of the disciples from the House of Cyrus in Germany, was preaching about the nakedness of Adam and everything. And if you have time, you got to watch that. It's amazing. I mean, this guy just less than 1 year there, and I love that. I love these discipleship course because it pushes away all the garbage and everything else, and it gets a person quickly to a place that they can shine their light. Anyways, and so one in Islamic idea, you're doing all this good so that Allah is impressed and starts writing all your good deeds, so that these good deeds would be on one side of the scale and it would overwhelm the other side. And it's as if these good deeds have the power to cover the nakedness or cover the shame, cover all the sins that you have committed. So it will cover me. Whereas, as a Christian, we do what we are commanded to do, to feed the hungry, to give water to the thirsty, to bring clothes to the naked, and everything else. And so we don't do this to gain reward. So I can cover my sin. No, my sin was covered by the nakedness of Christ Himself, by the blood He paid, by the glory and the forgiveness. I'm already given a cloth, and it's amazing. It's a reminder, as Eric says, of God ripping that cloth or that fig leaves off of them, and He gives them skins. He covers them Himself, and from that perspective, I'm already covered when I do goodness for what you consider something good for others. It's not that I get a reward, it's because He has already been so good to me, and I have been reunited with my own nature, the true nature that He created me in His image. He created me in His likeness. He created me, and so we bear fruits because we are branches, and He is the tree. It's His DNA that produces fruit. And when people taste of that fruit, they are not like, oh, what an Afshin, what an Ixo, what a John, or what an Almira. They're really seeing it and go, wow. They give glory to God eternal because He is good, and we have seen His goodness produce such wonderful fruit. So anyways, this was really confusing to the gentleman, you know, and he's somebody that he mentioned in his words that he has been in the war and everything, and you knew that this guy is not a normal soldier. He has been in the system for a long time. He's an officer, you know, and he carries, and so he's like, yeah, so this is what's happening. And I'm in the back of my mind thinking, this is also maybe one of the reasons that they did not let us in, because they're like, in the same day, Iranians are coming from all over the world, and these guys look like they are part of Hezbollah, and this guy has, or we have videos of him that being part of Hezbollah and everything, and they're all coming at the same time. So the airport, of course, is being ran by by people. Hi everyone. The airport is being ran by the government of Lebanon, which is not so much connected with the Hezbollah. So, anyways, so I'm like, that's what's happening. But at the same time, I'm like, oh wow, if I had not been deported, if I had not been refused entry to Lebanon, I would have never met these two Iranian guys. This is my chance to share a perspective of the love of God that they have never heard. Yeah, this is my belief. I believe that if we share the perspective of a love of God, that has so much power that can overwhelm anybody into knowing that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. I don't feel like I need to argue Christ into the position of God. I think I need to just share what I have tasted of his goodness, and his goodness is so good that everyone will know it's not just good, it's God. And that's it. And so, and then, of course, as we're chatting and everything, and said, yes, I've just bought a ticket to this. And they're like, yeah, we flew in from Iraq, and we're being deported to Iraq and everything. And, this is what's happening now. Now we cannot come straight here anymore. We have to go through other nations. And I'm like, oh, there's these guys. The more they're talking, the more I know how connected they are and everything. And so, anyways, and I noticed one of them, the guy, the older guy with the beard. He gets up and he has pain. And I said, "Do you have pain in your knee?" And he said, "Yes, I've had a surgery, but it's hurting." And I said, "How much, between 1 to 10? How painful is it?" It says, "Just when I'm sitting, it's 6, 7, 6 or something like that." I'm like, "Can I pray for you?" And he said, "What?" He said, "Can I pray for your healing?" And I said, "I don't know. I just pray. That's my job." But when he answers, it's his job, that's his strength, his power. And the guy says, "Of course, pray." I gotta tell you, we miss out on the opportunity. Many times we think pain and sickness and everything is a curse. And I know it's the fruits of our failure in the garden and everything, and some of the lifestyle choices and everything. But the reality is, it can also be an opportunity. Where there is pain, where there is suffering, it can be an opportunity to show the goodness of God. And so I just realized, for me, during the years of my ministry, that it's not so much about the healing itself that takes place, and that is amazing and that's beautiful. It's powerful moments when you see healings, but it's also about the love that is shown, a heart that is carried. And I think a prayer for healing that does not carry the heart of Christ is not as powerful as a prayer that carries the heart of Christ, that even in the end it doesn't produce the fruit that we wanted. The sicknesses are still there. I have seen people touched more by the heart of another person that loves them so much, that is implored and pushed into a position that I want to intercede. I want to stand in the gap, and I want to grab hold of a healing that is stored in heaven, and hopefully give it to you. So such a heart, because I cannot see you suffer, has touched more hearts than anything else. So anyways, I just knelt down in front of the guy, and the guy was sitting, and I'm kneeling down on the floor, and I have my hands and I'm like praying, and I'm like, God, I want you to heal my newfound brother. I want you to heal him. I want you to bless him, and I want you to touch him, because Jesus had the power of healing then, and he has the power of healing now. And I just start praying, and I say, pain be gone in the name of Jesus. And I'm like, Father, Father in heaven, you're better, you're God, but you're better than any father. You love us more than any father on earth. You have love for this man, and you know him, and you love him as a son, and just, would you bless your son? And in the same time, and I was just praying, and I realized, oh wow, as I'm praying, this guy must be going crazy thinking, oh wow, that when we were taught in the Islamic schools that the Christians believe in the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, we don't understand. They have three gods. Oh, no, 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 they don't. They believe God, but God is like a father, loving father, even better than any loving father. It's answering some of his questions. It's not that we have three gods. No, we have one God. But this God has got, he wants to relate to us, and he knows that because we are human beings, we are persons, and he wants to connect to us one-on-one, person to person. And he says, let me give you a picture so that you can understand my love. I'm like a father that created you and love you. I'm like a father that protects you and provides for you. I love you because you are like my child. And I'm like, wow, I'm praying, but this guy, I could just sense in him how he's being like, oh wow, okay, I understand that. I understand that. That's not heresy. That's not heresy to say God is so loving. His love is like a love of a father. No, 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 no. Not just any father, just a good father. No, no, no. Even higher than the best fathers there are. That's God. So anyways, I just prayed for him, and the guy just was like, his eyes had changed toward me. Now I had no idea that, and I'm gonna put that picture as this one for this video. My wife had taken a picture of me kneeling down and praying for him, and so anyway, after that he's like, man, it's so nice to meet you. And of course, by that time, I had already given them my name, my first name, my last name. And I'm like, look, we're going to be leaving very soon. But you guys if you ever come to Germany, you are welcome to my home. We're going to sit together, and I'm going to make you a kalia mahi, which is a southern food. It's a fish stew. And the guy is laughing and says, sure, definitely. And I'm like, yeah, and you got to check me out on YouTube or Google or anything. If you check my name, you put my name, Afshin Javid, you will find me, because for me, my wife said, they don't need Secret Service to find you. You give yourself your location away yourself. And I'm like, because for me, I'm not living my life based on fear. I'm living my life based on loving, and they know that if they show up in my home, I will make them that food. I will be sitting with them. I will host them, and I will love on them, because that's the love of the father Abraham. That's the love of God, wanting the Ishmael home. And I know that they've been sent because, having a conversation with this guy, I gotta tell you, you could not sense that he is there. You could see that he knows that his life may be in danger, he may die, but he has this conviction for which he comes to another nation fighting their enemy in their mind, and wanting to, they're willing to lay their life down, they're willing to die. And I can respect the fact that these guys have so much zeal for what they believe that they're willing to lay their life. And I'm like, man, how many Christians do we have in Christ that in the time of war are coming to Lebanon to fight for their belief, to bring the gospel, to bring the good news? And obviously not enough, because in immigration, they're like, what, you're Christian, you're coming here? And I still couldn't put my finger on it. And so anyways, they brought us to the plane, and we took the plane. We came to Jeddah and Saudi, and I'm like, Saudi? Like, I never thought I would ever come to this country and everything. And then of course, the question is at the immigration, they're like, okay, if you just were deported, and if they put my name anywhere, they're like, 50,000 videos comes up, on YouTube and everything. This guy was part of Hezbollah and Iran, and we were born in Iran, so Saudi people don't have a good relationship with the Iranians anyways. And so I'm like, oh, it's maybe what it would be, we'll get there, and maybe we can just there's more flights out of Jeddah to anywhere else, so we can just go and try to forget about it. But when we got here, they gave us the entry. But I gotta see this. I gotta say that when I was in the plane, gave us a seat 1A, 1B. We are sitting in the airplane, and I just got up and I looked at the plane because the plane looked really full, and I literally saw the whole thing is packed, jam packed. It was the only two seats available. We literally had gotten the only two seats out of there. Otherwise, we would have been stuck overnight, and they may have found a ticket. And so we just got out, we got here. And then the lady said, yeah, you just put your information. And immediately they gave us visa and entry. We got in. And when we got in, we were trying to connect because you don't have internet and everything. And so the internet in the airport is terrible in Jeddah. And so, we tried booking a hotel. In the booking system and everything, we got far enough. It just wouldn't book the hotel, and we're there at 3 a.m. now. The next day, we have been traveling for God knows how long, and we're just completely exhausted. And we're just sitting in the middle of the airport, and when you come to the Jeddah airport, when you come past the immigration, there is this huge aquarium with sharks and everything. It's beautiful, but we are just too exhausted. We're literally sitting on the floor trying to make a booking, and it just doesn't. But my wife managed to get at least the address. It wouldn't book it, but the address of a hotel that had availability. And the hotel would only book for the next day, not for that day. And I'm like, okay. And I chose Uber, got into a car, gave him the address. He brought us to the hotel. And when they said, yes, they're available. We did the booking, we got in, we slept and everything. And then got up yesterday, went around to walk around and just pray and say, why are we here? And I remember when coming down from the plane, as we're touching the ground, we're just praying for Saudi Arabia. We're praying blessing upon this land. We're praying that the love of God would just be poured out on these people and everything. And as we were yesterday walking around trying to find where is a restaurant, this, that, where do we go? Our hotel just is across from the palace of the king, and so we're there. We're walking around trying to find some food, and we found a place that has barbecue. I'm like, oh, that's nice, because my wife and I like regular, food, not so much these burger stuff kind of thing. But anyways, we go in, and cooking, and then the person starts speaking to another, and I recognize it's Farsi from Afghanistan, and I'm like, this is God's crazy plan. We are meeting first shop Afghans, and I started speaking Farsi to them, and they are shocked, shocked. And so the guy is like, "Oh, thank you for coming here." And he serves us. He says, "No, no, no, you don't pay. No." I said, "No, I want to pay because I want to bless you. I want to speak blessing over you." And the guy says, "Amin, Amin." And I'm like, "Whoa, whoa." So, anyways, so, and then another friend from Switzerland said, "You're in Jate? I have a good friend there, you can meet Shaq, So, anyways, so these guys, I write them and they immediately, like literally within half an hour, 45 minutes, they show up, pick us up, they take us for amazing Pakistani food with barbecue, and we ate so much. Then they give us tea, they bring us back to the hotel. And so we just spent some time thinking. And one night I was just, my wife was like, "You're having dreams?" I said, "Yes, And I couldn't still touch the point. What is happening? And I felt, oh, wow. Why they didn't let us in was they couldn't believe that Christians would want to help people in the time of war. One more time. The immigration of Lebanon could not believe that Christians would come into Lebanon to help Muslim people with their basic needs. They could not believe that. They said, "Yeah, we don't believe you want to do that. Why would Christians want to do that? Why would Christians want to help people anyways? Why would Christians in the time of war want to help Muslims?" And that hit me. So, and I'm thinking, how far have we gone from the gospel? I mean, if Jesus Christ would have come, if the disciples would have come, everyone would say, "Yes, of course we believe you." If the Christians in the first century would have come, and they would have said, "Hey, we heard there is a disaster, we are here to help," that would have been normality. There's someone suffering, and of course Christians are the ones that will come and help. But today we have lived such a Christianity that the Christians, even in Lebanon, because that was my dream before I left. I said I saw the society torn into two parts, and the society of the Christians that are not suffering, they don't feel responsible for the Muslims. And I'm thinking, as a Christian, if God has brought you to a piece of land, aren't you going to have to give an account for the people in that land that God brought you to, that you were born into, that you are living in? Don't you and I have to give an account? And I realized that if we had lived Christianity like Christ wanted us to live, when we would be at any immigration, in any disaster zone, as soon as we get there and we say, "Oh, we're here, I'm Christian," we say, "Oh yeah, they believe you because we know." This is what Christians do all across the world. They come because their God, their Savior, their Lord commanded them. They are here because they want to be obedient, because they bear such a fruit, because they are the branches and He's the vine, and they bear such fruit. I guess we have not been bearing such a fruit. We have not been We have not been acting or living in a way that would have been the normality of a Christian in the world. We were supposed to be light in the darkness, salt, but no. So when I left Lebanon, I gotta say, the people, if you haven't been to one of these Arab countries, I've been now to Dubai, I've been here in Saudi Arabia. I met some of the people in Lebanon and the immigration. They're such nice people. And like in Saudi Arabia, man, the people are so nice. And in Saudi, I was shocked of how many people speak English. It's so interesting and so respectful and everything and all this. So it's really really amazing. The Lebanese people in immigration, they were so nice, you know. Imagine they couldn't trust me and they were so nice to me. So I want to say, what an amazing experience with the people in Lebanon. And I said to them, okay, you know, of course. And I challenged them. I said, you know, you want people are not, they are not trusting UN and NGOs, because by the time the money gets to the people, 95% of it is gone into the system and everything. And they want to come and they want to help people directly in all these things. And they agreed. And I said, if you don't change the system, then in the end, people will suffer. And I challenge them with the dream that, you know, if you don't create a way for people, the individuals, because if you made it easy for the individuals to help other individuals, then you're not relying on a bigger machine to be created, because it always takes a longer time for that big machine to come up with some plan. But when we allow regular people help regular people, you take the hand of your neighbor, the one next to you, and you help them get up, that's so much easier. And they're like, yeah, no, you're right, but we don't know, we don't make the choices and everything else. So anyways, I'm thinking of going back to Germany, and I want to reach out to the embassy in Lebanese embassy there, and I want to have a conversation with them, and I want to see what we can do, because for me, my wife says you never give up, you don't, and I don't know how to give up, because I mean, look at Jesus, he never gave up on me. How can I give up? So I want to encourage you guys. This trip has been so interesting, and we're meeting people here that are wonderful, and we want to share the gospel and everything. And we want to just not. I think, you know, for us, when I say this, I want to be very. I want to be very clear in this, that for me, sharing the gospel is different. For me, it's not going to the street and saying, hey, do you know Jesus is God? But for me, it's for them, do you know you are loved? You're loved by the guy who created you, who made everything. That for me is the first step. And a journey for them to meet the person of God that loves them so much. And that for me is beautiful. I gotta say, it has been an amazing journey. Every step I can see God's hand in it. God was not surprised. And I think that everyone that met us, I gotta say, I'm so grateful to God for a wife God has given me, Elmira. And imagine, you know, you work till the last minute, and so she got home Friday from school, and Thursday night the school had this sleepover with the students, so she didn't get any sleep on Thursday night. and then Friday she comes home after work, and so then she's like doing all the paperwork and everything else and packing and everything, and I'm running between the job sites in the construction trying to get everything done. I'm running here and they're placing the have to do a door, and so overhead there, buy this, do that, do this, and at the same time Elmira's dad is having he's gotten Alzheimer's, and so he didn't know where he is. We had to find him, bring him back to a home and everything because he had gotten lost. So it was really chaotic, and of course you guys saw that we were trying to print in the morning. We were trying to print the shirts and everything, and so getting that. 1 second, let me see if I can get one of the shirts. Hold on, because we tried here. We were, so it was like we did these shirts, we're printing them from Cyrus Call International. Actually, yeah. So we're running around and all these things. And my wife is just like, man. Proverbs 31, I tell you. And then we travel, we get there, we have gone through all these things. She's exhausted, but she's like, there. I gotta say to the women out there that you stand together as a helper and a helpmate to your husband. My hat off to you, my love and respect toward you. Man, you guys, Proverbs says, you can find riches and everything, but a good wife God gives to you. So I want to honor all of you, my dear sisters who stand for the as a bride to Christ, or as a bride to Christ and a man on earth. I just love you guys. Blessings on you. So my wife was there, and not once, I mean, she was completely exhausted. Not once did she was like, hey, what are we doing here now? And she's like, wherever you go and everything. And yesterday I wanted to, and we were trying to see if we can go to Mecca and pray there. And she's like, I'm coming with you. I'm like, man, that's going to be crazy, And she's like, oh, this. And so we're trying to find, she's like, I want to be there wherever you go, and I don't care what happens. So I'm grateful for such a wife. And so sisters, young sisters, if you haven't gotten married, that is amazing. That's what God wanted us to have. A man of God, you need to be a visionary, and you need to be a wonderful lover to such women, and you need to speak. And fathers, you need to raise your daughters to be so. Mothers, you need to raise sons and daughters that honor God and honor one another. And I'm so blessed to have a wife that God has given me that I can travel with and share the gospel. I can't wait to go to other countries and everything else, because God has given me a partner to carry the gospel. So I love you guys. Thank you again, every one of you that support us by watching. A family, you have become so precious. You become part of us. Somebody wrote on YouTube, your videos are so cool, and I'm like, are you sure you're in the writing to the right channel? What are you talking about? I don't know what's cool. We just family sharing hearts. Thank you for being part of this family. Thank you for every one of you that support by becoming a member. Every one of you that are blessing us financially, supporting us for our journeys as we walk toward His plans and want to see His kingdom come. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. love to meet you guys once at least on earth here. Oh, hi Elena, blessings on you. And yes, many of you not know, many people call me as Baba Afshin and Mawan Elmira. So from Baba Afshin and Mawan Elmira here, we want to send you blessing from Saudi Arabia. We want to say we love you, we love you, we love you. God is good, and His goodness reigns forever. He's so good. We have something good to offer the world in this time of disaster. We carry something so beautiful. We carry His presence. You're amazing wherever you are. You carry within you. And I know we all struggle with our own identity. We struggle with knowing, oh, am I good enough? I got to tell you, Satan will say to you, you're not good enough because he compares you and he says, you're not like Jesus, you're not good enough. And it's true, I'm not like Jesus. I'm not perfect. He was. But you know what? I know Jesus chose me. And I would have asked him if I could, why did you pick me? Because that's still a mystery of gospel to me. But I know this, that I can tell you, He knows you, He knows us. And for the plans He has for you, you're just perfect. You're absolutely perfect. You're missing absolutely nothing in order to do what He wants you to do, what He has chosen you for. You are perfect. That's true. So, remember this. Oh, perfect ones for the plan of God. Go into the world, conquer the day, be the light, carrier of the gospel of good news. Blessed are your feet because you carry something that is wonderful. Wow, hungry. Yes, we are. Yeah. Oh, you are writing from Hungary. Sorry, my thing. Hello, people of Hungary. Bless you, bless you, bless you. So I want to say blessings upon every one of you. Thank you for sharing our videos. I think we are, on average, every week about a couple of hundred people is being added to our family members. So write to one another. I don't want you just to write to me. I want you to remember that a family is and possible the opportunity for us to meet one another also. I want you guys to love one another. I want you to, oh, thank you, thank you. I want you to have conversations, start prayer groups, with one another, praying for each other's nations, praying for each other's needs, praying for one another, fasting, loving one another, even, arranging times to meet each other. Yeah, this is an opportunity. This family, we need one another. I need you guys. I am so blessed. My wife and I are so blessed by every one of you that have become a part of this family, and you share this family with others as God increases our numbers so that we will become an international, connected, loving family with one another. Blessings. I will keep you updated the next place. So our hope and plan is in a couple of days to go to Turkey, and bring all the things that we have and the finances that we have you trust us with to help the refugees. We want to bring it there, and we will try to do some updates and show you guys actually where your finances that you gave us has gone. Love you guys. Till next time. Blessings.